Welcome to your Ho 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 Color My Cookie kit. Let's see what comes in the kit today. As always, we have 6 cookies to decorate. Today we have 2 Santa Belly cookies, 2 hats, and 2 reindeer with the Ho 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 sign. We have a palette cookie with 3 colors, and then we also have 2 vials of liquid. One is clear and the other is gold. The gold is an edible gold luster paint, and this clear liquid is lemon extract, and I'll explain what to do with those in just a minute. We have 2 sprinkle mixes. One is the Ho 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 sprinkle mix, and the other is our white sprinkle mix. We also have a bag of red icing and a bag of fondant pieces. From your home, you'll need a pair of scissors and a paper towel. There's also an insert with a QR code to this video. All right, let's do it. I'm so excited. I love Christmas, and I think it's time to decorate the hat. So I'm going to start with the green. So I'm going to move this around here. There's a lot of red that's going to go in this set, and so I think that we can make a green hat. So I'm going to get the brush wet, and I'm going to activate the green color dot by mixing the water with the color to create the paint. And then I'm going to test it on the palette just to make sure I have a color that I like. Okay, then I'm going to start painting. I'm going to start with the outside and work my way to the middle. All right, so I've got my green hat all done. Now normally when I do sprinkles, I do the sprinkle part first, but I thought today I would show you what happens if you don't. So I'm going to color the trim of the hat with just water because I want it to stay white. I'm going to get it wet here. And then I'm going to use my white sprinkle mix. Now, normally I leave this green part that I've colored, I would leave it uncolored before I put the sprinkles on. But today I'm going to show you what happens if you don't do that. So I've got my sprinkles. You can see that I have a few rogue sprinkles that got onto my green. And now it's very hard to get them off because I've already colored that area and they're sticking. So you have to take your brush and you can just clean them off with the brush. You can dip that in a little water. And with the brush, the sprinkles will come off. But it's easier to just paint that part last. But we want to show you all the different ways things can happen. So because I used clear water on my brush to get the sprinkles off, the color is now a little uneven, so I'm going to go back and color it. There we go. It's kind of like an elf hat. So it's not a Santa hat, it's an elf hat because it's green. Okay, now we're going to go ahead with the reindeer Ho 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 cookie. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to paint. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the sprinkles first. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the red icing bag. So I've got my red icing, and I'm just going to massage it together. When it comes to you in the mail, sometimes the icing needs to be worked back together into a consistency that you can pipe with. So I'm just going to quickly do that, and then I'm going to take my scissors and cut a small hole in the bag, very tiny, because I want the icing to come out in a controlled way. Okay, so I'm just going to test it on the plate. It looks good. So what I'm going to do, instead of coloring the entire cookie, I'm just going to outline this in red. This cookie has a lot of letters. And coloring a lot of letters is difficult. So if we're trying to color the background behind the letters, it's just going to be a little bit messy. So what I'm just going to do is outline the letters, and then I'm going to add the sprinkles. So I'm going to take my sprinkle mix, I'm going to hold my cookie, and I'm just going to sprinkle these on here. And then it looks intentional, like you're not even trying to color behind the letters, you're just trying to add some color to the cookie. So I've got my sprinkles here, getting them all on. And again, because I have not painted the rest of the cookie, I can just brush away the sprinkles that I don't want, and I'm left with just the sprinkles on the area that I'm looking for. Okay, there I go. So I've got my sprinkles on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush. The icing dripped a little bit because the sprinkles are heavy. So I'm going to just push it back up with the brush and then let it dry. In the meantime, I am going to paint the reindeer. So what I'm going to do now is activate the brown color dot. So I've got my water and I'm going to mix it with the brown dot. Test it on the palette just to make sure that it's the color I like, and then I'm going to paint. So I like to start. This is more of a smaller space, so I don't really need to worry about painting the outside and then the inside, so I'm just going to go from the bottom to the top, in between the eyes, and then I'm going to get the ears. I'm just going to leave it just like that. Perfect. Okay, now if you are trying to make a Rudolph reindeer, we've included a little red nose for you to put on here. So you can have a little red nose Rudolph. If you're looking to have one of the other reindeer, we have some brown dots some brown sprinkles that are large that could be used as a nose, so you could choose either or. So I've got my reindeer painted, and then I'm going to come back and paint the letters, and I'm going to use the gold paint for that. But for the moment, I'm going to move on to my Santa belly, and I'm going to come back and use the gold last. So what I'm going to do for this is activate the red color dot. Make sure it's a color I like. And then I'm going to paint. So here, this is where you, again, want to start from the outside, work your way to the center. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to go super fast. You want to have a race? Ready? Go. Did you beat me? Great. If you need a little bit more time, you can pause this video and work on your cookie a little longer. I'm going to move on and work on the belt for Santa's belly. So we've included a little fondant piece for you to complete the belt. So I'm going to take my gold belt buckle here, and I'm just going to brush behind on the back. And then I'm going to add it right in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit there for just a second, and now I'm going to move on to the gold. So I'm going to switch brushes because this brush is dry, and what I'm going to do is open my gold paint. I'm done with my water. I'm going to move that over here. So I've got my gold paint. I'm going to open the little jar, and in here we've got our gold. Okay, so I'm going to just make sure I like the consistency here. It might need to be mixed just a little bit with the brush. It sits in the box on its way to you in the mail. Sometimes it just needs to be mixed together again. So I've got my gold paint, and I'm going to use the palette cookie again to test it. So I've got my palette cookie, and look at that color. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my belt buckle on my Santa's belly. So I'm just going to take my paint and paint the belt buckle. We make the belt buckle yellow so that if you don't get gold on one part of it, you can't quite tell. So you can see there is something, not the entire belt buckle is painted, but you can't quite tell because the fondant is yellow. So perfect. So right there. So I've got my gold belt buckle. Now I'm going to move on to the letters ho 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 on the reindeer cookie. So I'm just going to take my gold and just paint gently my letters ho ho ho. Look at that color. It's so fun. Oh, I got a little sprinkle in there. That happens sometimes. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. Last little bit. Perfect. You can go back and touch up if you think it needs it. Now, this paint is a gold edible powder mixed with lemon extract, which is an alcohol. Alcohol evaporates faster than water, so as the jar sits open, the paint is going to thicken slowly. So if it gets too thick for you to paint with, we've included an extra little vial of lemon extract so that you can thin the paint back down so it's something that you can work with. That's what the extra jar is for. All right, so now I've got all of my cookies. I've got my Santa belly, my elf hat, and my reindeer ho 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 cookie. Thank you so much for watching this ho 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 Color My Cookie tutorial. And remember, the best part about Color My Cookie is eating it.